Hello everybody, Jonny here and welcome to a brand new series, Dead Cells Let's Go. I've been thinking about what the best way to cover this game is, and the first thing you're gonna see is that I already have a bunch of hours played in the early access period, and of course there will be links at the end of this video to my impressions throughout the early access period, but here we're sort of forced to start anew. They don't let us continue with our earlier save file for good reason. They've changed fundamentally a lot of the progression of the game, and so it didn't seem fair for me to jump in and just do a quick impressions video and telling you what has changed on release without me actually going through the game for a significant amount of time again. So I thought, why not do that on camera? It might be actually the best way to cover the game. So, on the other hand, if you were worried about not seeing the XCOM series again, rest easy. That's coming very soon as well. The reason I'm doing this right now instead of XCOM, honestly, it's because it's what I wanted to play, but I will probably be interspersing episodes from both series on a daily basis. So again, rest easy. We're starting a brand new game here on Dead Cells, and we're gonna try to examine the differences and see what we think about them. So you start off, you have no actual weapons, you just have the very basic ones. We're gonna pick up the bow here. Oops, I wasn't paying attention to that, that's fine. So one thing to note is we're not gonna be able to hit time doors because we actually need to get gold from these guys. Now remember, if you watched my prior video on Dead Cells, you might have noticed that I was skipping through a lot of enemies. That's because we already had a stash of gold to begin the run with that would allow us to buy the tomes, like the stat tomes and all of that stuff. That's not the case anymore. Let me adjust the volume a bit here. It's a little bit loud to my sensitivities. Okay, we're ready, let's go. So, on the other hand, if you're completely new to the game, what is Dead Cells? It's a roguelite game, 2D side-scroller, obviously. Very fast-paced, very engaging combat. I have a hard time thinking of a better example or something that's better than this when it comes to that sort of thing. So the combat here is very tight. What do we have here? Got some lore in the game. That's pretty cool. I mean, a lot of this stuff was sort of there, but they didn't really flesh it out at all in the early access. Again, will be interesting to see. So we pick up a bear trap. Shout out to Bear Taffy, one of my all-time favorite YouTubers. He's a cool guy, go check him out on YouTube. We got a blood sword. Oh, we got the blueprint. So we're gonna have to start picking up all of the blueprints for the different weapons to unlock them. It's gonna be fun, actually. It's gonna be fun to go through that again. So pick up our first tome here, and we got to decide which stat we're gonna devote. As you see here, the first time you grab any of the stats, you get a massive HP boost. We're gonna start with brutality. As you level up that same stat over and over, the bonus HP you get is, as you would expect, smaller, right? So the way it works is that you usually want to have a little bit of a balanced build. So you want at least, you know, a couple levels on each stat at some point, because there's a lot of value in the first few levels of the stats. Again, considering that they give you extra HP compared to the same stat when you level it up. So it's sort of a departure from what it was initially. Initially, you would pretty much focus on one single stat, and that would be your go-to for the run. You probably compound it with a secondary stat, but a lot of the time you really go sort of balls deep on just one stat. I think it was a good decision to change that. And straight away we're gonna get a survival here. And we're gonna see how some of those stats come into play as well. Let's just go into the promenade here. So because we're very late, we're not gonna make any time doors. I like what they've done with the dialogue. Not the content, but the like the looks. It looks pretty cool. So straight away, we don't even have a healing flask, which now we're gonna gain access to. Gold reserves. So this is what I was talking to you about. Now we would start with 3,000 gold, except we don't have quite enough cells for that. So choose a mutation. These you get to unlock more as you go, but to start with, you got a bunch of interesting mutations. The brutality ones, of course, will scale with the brutality stat. Tactics and survival will also accordingly. But this one is a very special one because you can only grab it in the first level, I think. And this one gives you a get out of jail free card. So if you die, you'll come back with full HP, which is very powerful. Let me grab a coffee sip here. So there's your first hint that you're gonna be dying. If you're fresh into the game, you're gonna be dying a lot. So what sort of prominent roguelite elements does this game have? Well, like I said, the permadeath, right? So you go on a run, you will die at some point. When you start off, more than likely that's gonna be quite early on. We'll see how far we can get on this one, no promises. We have only one healing charge on our flask, so it's not fantastic. So we were 1 minute late. We can easily make this the next time because, you know, we're talking, chatting, and screwing around. The time doors give you access to extra scrolls, which is incredibly valuable. And now I realize I said tomes instead of scrolls, so I apologize if somebody was triggered by that. It was not my intention. Oh. Right, we gotta be extra careful here because any damage we take for the entirety of the level. We only have one healing flask. So we gotta be a little bit careful. We don't necessarily have to fight everything, actually. So infantry grenades or twin daggers. We'll grab the twin daggers. It's a better weapon. Another thing they changed is that you can't sell weapons anymore. You used to be able, in the prior patch, you used to be able to sell stuff. And those doors, we're gonna discuss what they are, but put a pin on that and remember those doors. Oh, we can't use these just yet. So, if you're new to Dead Cells, one of the great things I think they did is the teleportation system. It removes any sort of pointless backtracking that many roguelite games have. I think that's a key aspect of one of the things that these guys got right compared to some of the other people. But we were talking about roguelite elements in the game. So let's just, we'll go ahead and grab a level of tactics here. Have a very balanced starting off point. Hello, sir. So the twin daggers have an interesting mechanic in that the third attack is always a crit. We're gonna try to utilize that to our advantage. Okay. Remember, Jonny, you're talking about roguelite elements here. So the other one, as you might have seen, oh, we have some good range, don't you? The other thing is meta progression, of course. As you will have pieced together already, if you don't know, you unlock blueprints for new weapons. When you start a new run, you get like one random weapon, I think. Although oops, screwed up there. That's not how you play that. Yeah, when you start off, you usually only have... Oh, okay. You usually only have access to very basic weapons. But as you go deeper into the run, you get better drops and upgrade your loadout. So that's sort of how it works. You really have to destroy this thing here. So that's the main way in which meta progression works. Also, we'll see if we make it even past this level, that you also unlock new mutations. I lost my train of thought. You unlock new mutations, you get better stuff, not only better weapons, but also better shields, better grenades, and that sort of stuff. We're gonna go for a survival here. Now, this is looking pretty bad right now. We have no HP. This is a situation where we're pretty much in dire straits with not many options left. So we gotta play it real careful here. You know, in my defense, it's early morning and also just playing badly. That's the defense. But yeah, it doesn't matter if we don't make it far. That's sort of the essence of these games. That it's about the replayability, right? So the next time we play through, we'll have learned a lot. We'll have gotten... No. Oh my god. We are not gonna make it through this guy, okay? So, the elite enemies... And there you go. So, that was our mutation that we grabbed. We got an extra life. We get a Firebrand's tool, which is a ranged brutality weapon. We'll grab that. And we get an artifact that allows us to activate these vines. So, I'll show you here. So all of a sudden now we have access to more stuff in all of the levels. This is another way that meta progression happens. So you can traverse a level, but you will encounter sometimes that you can't go to some locations within the level just because of these runes. So some of them you only obtain after killing certain enemies, some of them you obtain after a certain point in the game. One way or another, you gain access over time. Oh man, I'm so bad at those sections. I'm trying to rush through in the hopes that we can actually get to the end of the level here. But I think that's not gonna be a possibility. Let's see if we can get rid of these flying dudes. Yeah. It's not been going great for us. So these doors, I wanted to comment on them. Once you beat the game for the first time, you actually get something that you can optionally make the game more difficult. It's almost like a New Game Plus type mechanic. So if you choose that, enemies will be stronger, but you get some benefits as well. So the doors that have like one mark in them, like one circle, they would mean like New Game Plus 1. So you get like one, you beat the game once, you get that level up, if you want to look at that, at it that way. What that means is that all of a sudden those doors are now accessible to you, and there's loot in them. So it's sort of a way to compensate for the added difficulty. I've never done that myself, so I can't really comment as to how balanced that is. I suppose that's something that they've looked into and touched on in the process here. It'll be interesting to see. Right, so at least now we're gonna have some gold when we come back. I think number one priority for us to get a little bit further is having a bigger health flask. Now, because we lost our mutation, we can now get an additional one, and on top of that, you can choose an extra mutation as well, because it's the second level. So we're gonna go for the combo. We're gonna go for the cooldown reduction, I think. Could also go for a 30% increase on the HP. I think we'll grab that. We sort of need that. So replenish your flasks, grab a sip of coffee. Alright, let's proceed. Didn't go too well so far, but we're still alive. There's still hope. And again, the whole point of this is to see the progression in both our skill, knowledge of the game, and all of that stuff. And it's been quite a long time since I've played. I'm sort of going into this without any prior practice. So, you know, might take a while to acclimate ourselves. But if you want to see... Oh, okay. Yeah, remember to look down. If you want to see like a more complete run, you can refer to the link at the end of this video where I did sort of a full run to the final boss. Didn't quite kill the final boss, sadly. But you can see what a full run looks like, at least. Just to give you an idea. And also maybe some data points to compare as we go forward and advance in this new game. For now though, enjoying the trip. I'm pretty much excited and happy to be back into this game, and I think this really is the best way to cover the game. It wouldn't be fair for me to just say, oh, this and this has changed, without me actually experiencing the meta progression, the balance, and all of that stuff. So we're gonna go brutality here. I like the weapon we have. It's a ranged brutality weapon, which they're not as common, actually. I sort of... Oh, oops, we screwed up. I sort of like that. I like the idea of a ranged brutality weapon. Now, the shield I'm not so happy with. I'm happy to trade the shield. Yeah, the timing on the rolls are just really not on point here, but we're gonna get better. That's okay. I think we're going tactics and brutality. We got 3 points of survivability, which is good. Or survival, in this case. Keep going brutality after this point, I think, for a while. To get all the damage. But yeah, if you look at how there's no backtracking, that's one of the big strengths. I remember playing the Gungeon and stuff like that. They also got that bit right, where they have teleportation. I was semi-recently playing another roguelite game called Wizards of Legend, or Wizard of Legends. I don't quite know. But anyways, that game had some issues with that, to be quite honest. You actually had to backtrack long stretches, and not only that, but the main problem... Hello. The main problem was that there was a little bit of platforming, so you could actually fall down into pits and get damage. So while backtracking, you could actually incur damage because you're trying to do it quickly. So that's something I didn't like in that game. I thought that was a significant issue. On the other hand, they got some stuff right as well. So in some roguelites, the starting portion of the run is very samey. So every run you do is sort of the same in the first levels. So there's always like a 10-15 minute wind up while things are a little bit samey in some games. It's actually not the case in this one, and we'll talk about it in a moment. But Wizards of Legend had a very cool mechanic where you basically chose your skills before you went into the run. So every run was sort of completely different because you would be experimenting with different skills, and you know, they changed how you actually play the game significantly. So I thought that was interesting. So how does Dead Cells address that problem? The way it does it is... Sorry, it's focusing there a moment. Yeah, the way it does it is actually removing some of the incentives for killing all of the enemies. So if you look at, again, that video where I did almost a full run, link will be at the end of this video, you can see that I'm skipping a lot of enemies, running past a lot of enemies. That's not because, you know, I feel superior or anything like that, or I'm speed running. It's just because you have to balance the rewards you get out of doing that versus the rewards you get out of making the time doors. So the time doors are very strict at first, so you need to hurry to get to them, and they give you extra scrolls. Now, having an extra scroll is way more powerful than, you know, just getting a little bit of extra gold and cells from enemies. So really, that's the priority. If you can, that's what you want to be doing. But at first, the gold you get is not insignificant, because it allows you to purchase the scrolls, maybe a better weapon, something that allows you to get further into the game. So it sort of works, and we'll see as we do more runs how repetitive that might get or not. You guys will be the judge of that. But that's sort of my little rant on that aspect. I don't mind going like double bear trap build. This one also does a toxic cloud. We're gonna go there. And you can see that we're running out of money constantly. This is something they've balanced over and over. You used to sort of swim in money and never worry about it. Not the case anymore. Actually, we have to be a little bit cognizant of how much money we have at all times. We're going into the bridge here. This is the first boss of the game. Go for a coffee sip as well. Ah, very nice. Hello, sir. So, 20 cells. It's not enough for stuff. What is recycling? Transforms items found on the ground. Oh, okay. So this allows you to actually sell stuff. It's what I was talking about before. Ooh, we could unlock the blood sword. You know what? Let's unlock it. Thank you. And we'll go towards the health flask. Now, because we unlocked it, we get it straight away. We can compare the damage. And, I mean, it seems pretty good, doesn't it? Yeah. I think we're gonna do it. I really like... There's something about the blood sword that I really like. I've always enjoyed it. So we can choose now another mutation. And looking at this, the cooldown is gonna be instrumental because we're going double bear trap build, which means we're gonna be needing them to be up as often as possible. I think the bear traps are gonna be great for this boss as well. Again, I'm rusty, so forgive me if we die to this. We shouldn't. Hopefully we won't. The concierge. I like that they're calling him the concierge now. That's pretty funny. You can also parry with the shield. It's something we haven't done all game, but you can see there. Depending on the shield, that will give you one advantage or another. Oh. You can see the bleed damage coming out of our bleed sword. It's very, very powerful there. Maybe not necessarily against this boss right now, but it scales well, it's good damage, and I don't know, I like it. There's something enjoyable about it. So this is it's interesting, this is the first boss you find when you first start playing the game, and he seems very difficult at first. But you can sort of see here, and we're screwing up a lot, that's fine. But you can sort of see here that once you get his number, he's not that bad. We can sort of keep him trapped in the bear traps a lot. And try to abuse him that way. The only thing that gets us is that sort of energy attack, energy field attack. Oh. Okay. Don't screw up. Alright, take a heal. Better play it safe. Hello, sir. Get bear trapped. Ooh. I really don't want to die to this guy. Oh shit. I aimed it wrong. Come here. Come on. Come on. Oh shit. I thought he was gonna jump. We got it. We got it. We got it. You're in the zone. Relax. Go. Oh. Alright. Don't take damage. It's a bad Jonny. Don't take damage. Whoa. You're taking damage. Taking a lot of damage, dude. Alright. So he goes sort of crazy towards the end here. And we're not doing a great job. We might die to this guy, which is a little bit embarrassing, but it's a good, humbling experience. And you know what? Kudos to the game. I didn't thought that we could still die to this guy. But apparently that's entirely possible. That's entirely a possibility right now. Okay. So that sound is the cue for that energy field thing that he does. I didn't actually know that. Oh, screwed up. I think we might be in pretty bad shape here. Yeah, okay, that's alright. That's fine. I deserved it. Playing sloppy. But I think it was a good first episode here, going into our new adventure. Let's see. Let's take a look at what happens here when we die. We pick up the little 3,000 gold stack. And here is where they give you the rundown, where it's like, yeah, you're gonna be doing this a lot. So, oh, I thought we were getting 3,000 gold. Maybe we didn't have actually 3,000 gold, but as you can see, for now we only have the beginner weapons. So we're gonna leave it here. Hope you enjoyed the first episode. Feel free to share with your friends. It really helps at the beginning of a new series. Let me know if you have any thoughts so far, and thank you for watching. Catch you next time.